My name is Princess Parker Smith. As he said, I attend Carnegie Mellon University. The title of my PowerPoint is Robotics 2009, Gender-Based Enthusiasm During Robot Construction and Website Construction. I'm currently working at Junior High School 318 and with Peter Kelly and Russ Holstein. So a brief overview of my PowerPoint, of my research. First I'm going to have what exactly is my study with the robots, the merging of the study, the construction of the robot, analyzing and concluding the results of my study, references and acknowledgements. So my study. The question is, how does gender affect sixth graders' enthusiasm and general attitude towards robotics? For my research survey, essentially we have 16 girls, 16 boys. They're ages 10 to 11. They are not in sixth grade yet. They're entering sixth grade, but we are calling them sixth graders. Ethnicities, we have African American, Hispanic, Asian, Caucasian, and mixed. Household incomes are low to middle class. And for the survey questions, so we essentially did a survey to figure out how the students will react to this robotics class. And so we have 12 questions. They're yes or no, very simple questions, situation A or B, and they're all multiple choice. So for the survey questions, essentially we have a couple questions here. Some of them, are you excited about the robotics class? Have you ever wanted to build a robot? If one person in your group is being uncooperative, would you tell the teacher? Would you raise your hand in class if you have a question, even if no one else in the class has a question? And if you see, there are numbers next to each survey question because they correspond to a different aspect of what we're trying to analyze. So more survey questions: do you like robots? Or are you ready to have lots of fun this summer? So as I said before, each number, it deals with a different aspect of the child's enthusiastic response to robotics and their own self-confidence as well as his or her own study habits. So for the survey results, we saw that 100% of the students checked yes in response to, are you excited about this robotics class? Which is very important to see these young minds wanting to be part of this class at such an early age. And we saw also that 50% of the boys, they said they would rather people tell them what to do, and 20% of the girls answered they would rather people tell them what to do. 100% of the boys said that they like robots, while 83% of the girls said that they liked robots. And all of the boys answered they would ask a question even if no one else had their hand up, whereas 83% of the girls said that they would ask the question and no one else's hand was raised. So that was the beginning. The survey was the beginning of the robotics class. Then it became constructing the robot. So the students were in group sizes 2 to 4, and the groups were mixed, genders and nationalities. And during the robotic construction, at first the girls took charge while the boys were easily distracted. The girls tended to be the recorders and the active ones, and the boys remained seated or they said they were too tired. And the girls were eager to help the other girls in different groups, where the boys were more interested in the different girls, seeing the age range. However, while the robot was being finished, things started to change. The girls became bored, the boys became more enthusiastic, and the girls slowly stopped coming to the robotics class. The boys were more interested in the robot and its capabilities and wanted to learn more about the robot as opposed to the girls. So our question is, what happened? Why do we have this change, this switch? So for analyzing what happened, we have a survey versus reality. So in the survey, the boys seemed more enthusiastic and diligent, but in reality, they were not. It was not officially seen in the classroom because the girls had taken charge. And overall, we reached the conclusion that the enthusiasm towards robotics is not simply gender-based. You cannot simply base it on gender, because the girls were very enthusiastic even though the survey said otherwise. But the girls did lose interest because the boys were not helping collaborate and heighten their interest. So it was kind of a girls versus boys. And this is where we think it became unhealthy. It shouldn't be more girls versus boys. So to resolve the issue, we were thinking if both girls and boys could work together, spark each other's interests, then they could become very excited about robotics together. And then a collaboration would be possible so that the boys are not just against the girls or the dominators, or the girls are not just the dominators in the robotics class. So this summer, so last summer that was where I worked with the robotics class. This summer I am actually working with robotics and web design. So I'm going to be now doing a survey with the same ages, 10 to 11-year-olds, in a web design class where they build their own website and learn all about how a website functions. So I'm going to prepare a survey and also do research on their enthusiastic response to building a website at the age 10 to 11. And we're also going to monitor their responses post-completion of their websites. So this is a picture of the robot that was constructed last summer. This here is the brain of the robot called the NXT. It's just basically a computer. And we have sensors here, light sensors, sound sensors, and touch sensors on the robot, so that we programmed it to, for example, when it would go forward and hit a wall, we would program it so once it hit the wall by the touch sensor, it would go backwards. And here's a picture of some of the 6th graders, or incoming 6th graders that we work with the robots. As you see, the robots, some of the robots are in the background. Here are my references. And acknowledgements, I'd like to acknowledge Peter Kelly, Russ Holstein, Junior High School 318, the Sports and Arts Foundation, Charles Hayden Foundation, Ms. Redway, Dr. Sat Bhattacharya, Harlem Children's Society, and all of you for listening. Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Cool.
Oh, Vicki?
Why not 6th grade? Is there like something important about the 6th grade, like psychologically?
Right, exactly. So we believe that elementary school, obviously, we feel is more fostered with the teachers, and you are still very young. Once you hit middle school, that's a point where you really start to find yourself and you really start to mature. Puberty hits, you become interested in the opposite sex, and we're trying to make sure that they are not led astray. Once you hit middle school, that's the point of time where you should be really knowing about college and robotics and all math, science, engineering, because we find that a lot of 6th to 8th graders, they don't want to be in the engineering, math, sciences field during that age range because they're not really exposed to it. So we do this program with incoming 6th graders so that they are told about all this in advance so that they can carry that on to high school. Yes. Oh, what, the 6th graders? Oh, yeah, well, some of them are really tall. Yes. Any other questions? Yes.
How many students were part of the How many students were part of
16 boys and 16 girls.
Do you think that's a good representation of what the area behind?
No, it is not, of course, a perfect or probably not the best representation. However, it did go up from last year. We had 6 boys and 6 girls. So we're trying to progressively move up. However, it is hard because it's all voluntary. So it's hard to have students come in 8:30 in the morning and take a robotics class. So it's not a perfect representation, but it can be a segment of representation.
How do you then present yourself to voluntary bodies?
Well, I guess because it's not forced upon us. I feel like if it is forced, that's more of a bias than voluntary bias. So because it is voluntary, we'd rather have that bias rather than a forced bias. Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much.